Have you ever felt your heart race, your palms sweat, or your mind go completely blank when you try to speak English? Do you ever find yourself thinking, what if I say the wrong thing? Or what if they laugh at me? You're not alone. But here's the harsh truth. You can never speak English because you don't speak English. Yes, you heard me right. It sounds confusing, doesn't it? But it's true. Most English learners are trapped in a vicious cycle, and they don't even know it. Today, I'm going to reveal a secret that will change the way you think about learning English forever. But first, let's dive into why so many of us struggle to speak English fluently. Stick with me, because what I'm about to share will open your eyes. Imagine this. You've been learning English for years. You know all the grammar rules, you've memorized countless vocabulary lists, and you can read English books without much trouble. But when it comes time to actually speak, something happens. You freeze. The words don't come out, or if they do, they sound awkward and wrong. It's frustrating, isn't it? It feels like all your hard work is for nothing. Why does this happen? The problem isn't your knowledge. It's something else. It's something much deeper, something that holds you back every time you try to open your mouth and speak. Today, we're going to explore this problem together, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to finally break free from it. So, what's stopping you from speaking English? It's not what you think. Let me tell you a story. There was a girl named Maya. Maya was an excellent student. She had perfect grammar, a vast vocabulary, and she could write essays in English that would impress anyone. But when it came to speaking, Maya struggled. Every time she tried to speak in English, she felt a knot in her stomach. She was afraid of making mistakes, afraid of sounding silly. She felt like everyone was judging her. So, she avoided speaking as much as possible. At work, she communicated in her native language. In English class, she would answer in short sentences, hoping the teacher wouldn't ask her to say more. Maya thought she was protecting herself, but what she didn't realize was that she was building a wall around herself, a wall that was growing higher every day. Does this sound familiar? Are you like Maya? Do you avoid speaking English because you're afraid of making mistakes? If you are, you're not alone. This is one of the most common problems English learners face. But here's the twist. The more you avoid speaking, the harder it becomes. This is the vicious cycle I mentioned earlier. You can never speak English because you don't speak English. The more you avoid it, the more your fear grows. And the more your fear grows, the less you speak. It's a cycle that traps you. But what if I told you there's a way out? Think about the first time you tried to ride a bicycle. Were you scared of falling? Most of us were. Maybe you fell once or twice, scraped your knee, and felt a little embarrassed. But what did you do? You got back on the bike. You tried again, and with each try, you got better. Speaking English is just like riding a bike. You have to fall a few times before you can ride smoothly. The problem is, most English learners don't realize this. They expect to speak perfectly from the start. They expect to ride the bike without ever falling. And when they do fall, they give up. But what if falling was part of the process? What if making mistakes was a necessary step towards becoming a confident English speaker? Let me tell you another story, this time about a boy named Arjun. Arjun was different from Maya. He loved to talk. Even though his English was far from perfect, he would chat with anyone who would listen. At first, people laughed at his mistakes. They corrected him, sometimes harshly. But Arjun didn't mind. He saw each mistake as a chance to learn. And guess what? Over time, Arjun's English improved. He became more fluent, more confident. He wasn't afraid to speak, because he had made so many mistakes that he realized they weren't the end of the world. In fact, they were his stepping stones to success. Here's the secret I promised to share with you. The key to speaking English fluently isn't in avoiding mistakes, it's in embracing them. You will never speak English if you don't speak English. And yes, that means making mistakes. Lots of them. It means feeling awkward, it means stumbling over words. But each mistake is a lesson, each stumble is progress. The only real mistake is staying silent. Now you might be wondering, how can I start speaking if I'm so afraid? Well, I have a few simple tips that will help you overcome this fear. These tips will help you become more like Arjun and less like Maya. Ready to hear them? Tip number 1. Start small. You don't have to give a speech or have a long conversation. Start with small sentences. Practice introducing yourself. Practice ordering food in English. The more you do these small things, the more confident you'll become. Remember, it's about taking small steps. Tip number 2. Record yourself. Yes, I know it sounds scary, but it's incredibly effective. When you record yourself, you can listen to your own voice, notice your mistakes, and correct them. It's like having a conversation with yourself. You'll be surprised at how much this helps. Tip number 3. Keep a speaking journal. Write down a few sentences in English every day, and then say them out loud. Record them if you can. This practice will help you get used to speaking English daily. It will become a habit, and soon, you'll find that speaking English feels as natural as speaking your native language. Tip number 4. Find a speaking partner. It could be a friend, a family member, or even a language exchange partner online. The key is to practice speaking with someone else. Don't worry about being perfect. Remember, the goal is to practice, not to be perfect. And finally, tip number 5. Celebrate your progress. Every time you speak, every time you make a mistake and learn from it, you're getting better. Celebrate these small victories. They are the building blocks of your fluency. Don't be too hard on yourself. Remember, even native speakers make mistakes. The important thing is to keep speaking, to keep trying. So, here's my challenge for you. Today, start speaking. Start with something small. Don't let fear hold you back. Remember, you can never speak English because you don't speak English. But you can change that. You have the power to break free from this cycle. The key is to start. Speak today, speak tomorrow, and keep speaking. Soon, you'll find that speaking English is no longer something you fear, but something you enjoy. You'll find your voice, and you'll be proud of it. That's all for today. Remember, the journey to fluency is a marathon, not a sprint. Take it one step at a time, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notifications of our new videos. Also, comment below about your experiences with speaking English, and let's support each other on this journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep speaking and keep shining.